Hello everyone, Voodoo here. So Dinars officially launched tomorrow. You get your first one then, and then you get one every 3 weeks. So I figured I'd do a little video going out and just talking about kind of like the highest priority items you can get. Now, we're not certain on which M+ items will be in the pool. Obviously trinkets for sure, but after that, not super certain. So I have included a little short Mythic Plus section. Some of those items might not be there. We don't know. They kind of just added it post afterwards, or at least I don't know. It could be there. I don't know. So yeah, with that, like, comment, subscribe. We're trying to get to 15,000 subscribers by the end of the year, and we're on our way to do that. So thank you so much, and go into the video. All right, so first off, we are going to talk about the Mythic Plus items. Now, you can actually get Mythic Plus items at the highest level for the first time in ever outside of your Mythic Vault. Now, to get these, you do have to get all 12s timed, so you have to have resilient 12s. Not too difficult. It's easier than doing all the raid stuff because you have to, you know, prog Mythic, but you do have to have, like, I think it's around 3,000 IO, all 12s timed, but that is pretty doable. So there are 4 items to talk about for Mythic Plus, 2 of which are really important, 2 of which are kind of like whatever. So obviously the big things for Mythic Plus are going to be trinkets. I looked, there's like not really any weapons to get. If you need a weapon, I would just craft one. I wouldn't waste your 1 of 3 dinars on it. The biggest thing you could possibly get from Mythic Plus is for raiders or Mythic Plusers is improvised C4 pacemaker. This trinket is crazy. It is BIS for Havoc and Vengeance. So if you do both, this is probably the highest value pick you could possibly do. It's just a really high uptime crit buff. It's a 50% uptime crit buff. Every minute you proc it, and then your crits increase its duration 15 seconds up to 30 seconds, and we crit so much it's 100%. Just like a really crazy trinket. If you are a Mythic Plus only Andy, you're a Havoc who only plays Mythic Plus, Signet of the Priory is your second best get from Mythic Plus here. It's just a 2-minute on use. You don't want to macro it to meta, but you want to use it whenever you use meta. Just gives you a large amount of either crit or mastery, depending on what your highest secondary stat is. It's just very strong. And if you don't have access to some of the raid trinkets, this will also be very good in raid, which is like a really good pickup. Now, for some of the other stuff, I'm unsure at this point in time if rings are available from the Mythic Plus vendor. I'm not really sure what their stance on where rings fall is. Finally, if you tank at all, Tome of Light's Devotion is another, like, oh, you know, I don't know what to get with my last one. You can just get a Tome of Light's Devotion. Very strong tank trinket. You could get Pacemaker and Tome and just be like set for tanking. So those are kind of like the only 4 that really matter for Mythic Plus. We'll go over like an order or like a prio later that I'll talk on, but those are kind of the 4 like big ticket items, and like the ring is kind of like whatever, but those are kind of like the good things for Mythic Plus. So let's talk about raid now. So for raid, the obvious best thing, and it's not even close, is the Jaster Diamond. This ring is crazy. It drops from, it's a very rare ring for Mythic Gallywix or Heroic Gallywix or whatever. So right there, very rare item, ring from the last boss, going to be nearly impossible to get, but through normal means. This ring is really crazy. It's a full statted heavy mastery ring, which is really good for Havoc, that has a special bonus which gives you stats. So you basically like steal stats. I don't think you actually steal them, but you just get stats based on your ally's stats. And it also has a small benefit, sort of, where you have a 10% chance to give those stats to an ally instead of keeping them yourself. So there is a bonus to yourself and a bonus to your party. It is a very good ring for both Mythic Plus and Raid, and you are going to be buying this no matter what. Even if you don't do Mythic Gallywix, and I hope they add a way to upgrade things. I don't know if we know that right now, but even if you don't do Mythic Gallywix, I think buying this on Heroic is going to be one of the best things you can do with your Dinar. Like, you can just kill it on LFR and then buy the ring on Heroic. Very powerful ring. It's super crazy, insane pickup. Recommend simming to see if it's better for Heroic, but I think even a Heroic is better than most other rings you can get. So crazy item. Highly recommend that one. Next, more so if you're a raider, but the best weapon you can get is Capo's Molten Knuckles. This is another very rare item. It drops from Muggsy, the second last boss of the raid. The thing with this one is that it's not as good into AoE. It doesn't have any secondary stats, I believe, off the top of my head. I could be wrong there. Don't think I am. But it does have a very strong proc effect that does, honestly, pretty decent AoE. In single target, I think it's about 3%. AoE, it's like 1 to 2% of your damage. But it's not really like as crazy in Mythic Plus. Like, if you're a raider, this thing's really good. You should pick it up. But if you're a Mythic Pluser, it's not really crazy to the point where I'd buy a Heroic one if you don't have access to the Mythic ones. And its competition in raid is also a lot lower because most specs don't want two-handed fist weapons. I believe our competition is Outlaw Rogues and Elemental Shamans because monks want a staff this season. So it's like other Havocs, I guess a Vengeance Demon Hunter, if your raid is running one of those, and then like LE shamans, oh sorry, element enhancement shamans, and outlaw rogues, and like no one's playing outlaw rogue really, so not a ton of competition here, but it's still like a really strong weapon, right? So good to pick up. From there we move on to trinkets. Now there's 3 trinkets from raid that I feel are worth talking about. The first one is Eye of Kazan. This one drops from the last boss of the raid. It is an interesting trinket. On any fight that like goes over 5 minutes, so One Armed Bandit, Mugsy, or Gallywix, this thing is crazy. It's by far our best trinket. It's really good. However, not very good on shorter fights, not very good in Mythic Plus because you drop stacks. Now it can be doable in Mythic Plus because you know you can pull quickly, whatever, yada yada yada, but the stacks drop a lot quicker than you gain them. You gain like 4 stacks every 20 seconds, but you lose 1 stack in like 2.5 seconds out of combat. So it's not like a great recipe for success there. But if you are a raider, this eye will be very hard to get because there's a lot of people who want it. It drops from the last boss of the raid, so it's hard to get there. And it's very good for long fights. So this is really only kind of like a CE raider pickup, but again, it's a very good pickup. Junk Maestro's Mega Magnet is another really good trinket. This is our best trinket. However, honestly, like this one's kind of just here if you don't have anything else. Like it's from the 4th boss of the raid, so it should be very accessible. It should have pretty low priority. You should have had a lot of chances to get this already, but it is very good for Havoc. But it's not usable in Mythic Plus or anything like that. But so it's like kind of like just a Raiders thing, but it is very strong. Especially if you pair it with a pacemaker, it does like 3.6% of your damage, and it's also an agility, like a really high agility status trinket, so it's like much better than it might seem. But again, it comes from an early boss. It's not that competitive in terms of who else wants it. So this one shouldn't be that crazy to pick up, but it is an option there if you like get really unlucky. Finally, House of Cards. This one is very strong for Mythic Plus. I would say it's about on par of Signet. Signet is a 2-minute trinket. It's a little easier to use, and it has, I think, more stats. House of Cards gives you a lot of mastery. It's 1.5 minutes though, so it is a bit weird to use. You just pair it with I-Beam whenever you get it. But this one again drops from the raid, from the 6th boss, and has a lot more competition. Unholy Death Knights want it. I think both Death Knights maybe, I'm not really sure. Some caster specs, Windwalker monks. So there are a lot of other specs that do want House of Cards, but it is a very good option. Opposed Signet Priory, that's like a little bit better in single target, I believe. Doesn't have the swing of if you get crit or not, but it is like 1.5 minutes, so it's harder to use, where Signet Priority is 2 minutes. So those are the raid items. There's also that cloak, but like I don't know why you'd buy that cloak. It's not great. It just gives you a little burst of speed. I wouldn't buy it personally, but if you have nothing else to buy the cloak for Transmog, I guess. Pretty good there. Yeah, so those are kind of all the items I would think about buying. We're gonna do some priorities now. So for like if you're a raider, first priority, and then if you're a Mythic Pluser, first priority. So we're gonna jump over to that. Okay, so we're gonna start off with the raider priority because I think this is like way easier. So this is going to assume that you have full access to everything on CE and full access to all the Mythic Plus trinkets, obviously. If you don't have that, and like you know, like heroic things, stuff like that, things can start to get a little weird. So we're just gonna assume, you know, highest possible, best you could be. So first things first, Jaster's Diamond is going to be your first pickup. This one I would even buy if it's heroic, if you're pushing something or still, but like this ring is crazy. It's a very rare item from the last boss. Every single person in the game wants it. So its loot competition is incredibly high, right? Like you want to get like, I don't know, it's like 26 of them if your raid is a 6-person bench, right? So this one's gonna be hard to get. This one's gonna be probably the first one you want to get. After that, Capos is really good in raid. This is quite a good fist weapon. It's a fist weapon that goes up to max item level, which is really good. It has a very strong proc. It's a very rare item from the second boss in the raid. Second last boss. Again, competition on this one's not as high, but the item itself is so powerful, and it's a very rare item that I think it's worth it. Me personally, last tier, there were 2 things as well. There's a very rare fist weapon and a very rare ring, Deja Vu. I got the ring on the on the last week of season 1, and I got the fist weapon on the last vault of season 1, the first week of season 2. So you can get unlucky. So I would just get the very rare items first off. After that, I'd buy a trinket. Now, what trinket you buy is going to heavily depend on what you have. I would say Pacemaker is probably your highest priority because it's impossible to get that from raid. You can only get it from getting lucky in your vault or buying it. So Pacemaker is going to be like a high priority there. After that, I would get an Eye of Kazan. Again, comes from the last boss. Really, really, really high competition for it, and is very good for those longer fights. If you already have that or don't want it, Magnet's a very good pickup, and then like Signet and House of Cards are probably kind of like at the lower rung of what you want. For Mythic Plus, honestly, pretty similar stuff. Jasters is your top item. I would, again, just buy this on Heroic. It's crazy. Ring is so good. Like, it's a really, really, really good ring. I cannot emphasize this enough. It's even better than last season's ring was. And last season's ring was really good. So get a Jasters, even if you can only buy like the Heroic one. Like, it's so good. From there, Pacemaker's probably your second best option. If you already have like a pretty good stat ring, you could buy like an Signet or House of Cards first. But I would say Pacemaker, just due to the fact that it's a really strong crit. It's really powerful Mythic Plus because you have it on like each pack. It's really good if you ever tank Odds Vengeance, which is honestly like probably how most people get pugged these days because Vengeance is meta. It's just really strong. Good raid trinket as well. If you go to the raid, pick that up. Third, I'll grab either Signet or House of Cards, depending on like what you want to do. I would just grab Signet. I don't have a House of Cards, so I haven't played with it, so I can't give you that experience I have. But they're both very good. Obviously, as a Mythic Pluser, it might be harder to get a House of Cards at Mythic Eye level. So just buying a Signet at Mythic Eye level, pairing that with meta, that'll be kind of like your two trinket combos. And then bringing up the rear, if you have all your trinkets, you can just buy Capos. Again, not really as important Mythic Plus, especially if you're just buying at a Heroic Eye level. Buying a Mythic's pretty good, but like if you're just buying a Heroic, I would just get Pacemaker and Signet first. If you have one of those, then I'd pick up a Capos, just to kind of have it. It's good single target, good like decent AoE, some prio stuff there, but it's probably like your fourth important item. I would get your trinkets and your ring first, and then that last. So there we go. That's all the items. Honestly, like more than I thought there were when I sat down to make this video. So there's some fun stuff this tier, but yeah, I mean, like it's going to heavily depend on what you yourself have already gotten and what you yourself gain access to over the 6 weeks or so between when we get our first and our last Dinar. So depending on what you buy, there's gonna be like a lot of like stuff there. There also is some consideration on if they actually let you upgrade things. We don't know as of right now if we can actually upgrade items. So like being able to upgrade things will change kind of like what happens, right? Because for me personally, when I get the Dinar tomorrow, I think as the time of me recording this tomorrow, oh no, when is this video coming out? When does this happen? I'm confused. As of the time of me recording this, when I get the thing, I'm gonna pick up a Capos because we don't have Galliwix dead yet. If Galliwix is dead, I'll get a ring. Basically, time's weird. Time's a flat circle. But yeah, I mean, like that's kind of it, right? So, depending on what you have access to, and stuff like that. So I hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you guys next time with another new video. And yeah, I mean, like, comment, subscribe, get me higher 15,000, and appreciate y'all. Peace. A big thank you to everyone watching my videos, but especially to my channel members. Thank you, Alexander Trifunovic, Rukaza, Fear Redefined, Loose Change, Jorge Polanco, Matthew Barr, Zuligan, Chocobo Merc, Gabriel Correa, Matchman 133, and Falafadar and Dark Terror. Thank you so much to everybody. If you want to join and support me in making videos, consider following the link below. I will be adding more perks to this over the summer as I get more time, including log review, which isn't available right now. But again, I do appreciate everybody just supporting me and watching the videos. So I'll see you guys next time. Thank you. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Peace.